Hi, this is Angie with Mystic Mountain Homestead.
And this is Dutch.
We are coming to you today for an update. Like we said a couple of months ago, we want to be transparent. We want to give you the good, the bad, the ugly, the smiles, and the tears. So 2019 ended with a lot of tears. A lot of tears. We're going to start with the piggy predicament. The piggy predicament. So if you remember correctly, the last time we had you in the barn and we showed you that the piggy had a bulge, and he was concerned about what was wrong with it. And we ended the video saying that we were going to take him to the vet. And Dutch took him to the vet, and this is what happened.
Well, I took him to the vet, like she said. I just brought one of them, there's 3 total. They said that I thought it was a piss pocket, was what I told them, or it was a hernia, is what we looked it up, and I told him, he said, yeah, that was probably right. He looked it over, he squeezed on it, he said, it's not a piss pocket. Yeah, he ended up pushing it on, and it just popped right in. He said it was a really big hernia, and we sat down and talked about it for a little while, and I was like, what could cause this to happen? And he's like, either the mother could just chew on that umbilical cord, or, which I know didn't happen because they were separated, if we separated them out, maybe
Well,
separated for a while.
they were past weaning age, so
Right.
the mom wasn't in there with them.
And then as well, he said it could also be a genetic issue, and I've been thinking for a while that the male pig we have might be having some genetic issues. The last 2 litters we've had from him.
We've had a couple of problems.
Yeah.
So that basically was a lot of tears because we were counting on that money. Dutch had several litters, and our plan was to take them and sell them this spring after they
Summer, it was gonna be summer.
after they grew up. He had did the math, and we thought we were gonna be coming out with a profit. Now then, the vet said that 3 of those piglets cannot be sold. He said they would not bring anything. So he said that they were nothing but bacon to us. We may be able to sell off some of the meat, but it won't be probably the same price as what we would have if we would have had large pigs at the sale barn. So that was one horrible thing that happened in 2019. And we're talking like the week right before Christmas. I mean, like everything just went wrong. And I think that was probably like the hardest part, was because you're on the stress anyway because the holidays and everything, and then things just started ending horribly for the year. The next situation we had, this was all in a week. So he took the piglets to the vet on Tuesday. On Wednesday, he almost died. And I get a phone call at work, and it's him telling me about his saga.
And like she said, I almost died. Well, you guys seen the video? You can click on the little card up here. It's the piggy DIY barrel, and I was working on it later on, and I had to tighten it up a little bit more on the inside, and I was reaching down the inside. I had it strapped up already in the pig pen, so I was like, I'm gonna unstrap it and take it all down because it's a mess trying to get in there with all those little pigs. And so I just crawled over the fence, and I was stepping up over it and leaning down in there, and I dropped my wrench, and so I stepped up a little bit more, and when I stepped up to the next step, my whole body, I left off balance and slid in.
And video probably doesn't show it, but we're not real tall. So he had to step up on the stall in order to do that. When he slid in, he actually got wedged in there. And every time he tried to get out, he would go down further. He ended up going under the water 2 times. And tell him how you ended up getting out of the barrel and not drowning.
Well, like she said, I wedged myself up in there finally and just rested for about 5-10 minutes, because I was in there forever, probably about 45 minutes. Felt longer than that.
Yelling, but we live out in the middle of nowhere, so nobody heard him yelling.
The dogs did.
That's
the only one. They could help me.
We need to train them like Lassie.
But you guys saw the top of the barrel. It was only this big. I'm going to cut it off all the way up to the top now. I'm not crawling inside of it anymore to begin with. So I was wiggling and just started jerking my legs. My legs were sticking straight up like this when I was sitting down in the barrel. And so I had my waist up there about right here and my arm sticking out. It's actually backwards. I was like this, head down in the barrel like this. And I started swinging my legs to the left and right hard as I could. Like was like just wedged in there. And finally I heard a pop noise, and when I heard the pop noise, I just slid right out all at once.
That pop was him breaking 3 ribs. So I guess he made himself a little bit smaller and was able to get out.
And it still hurts very much so.
So guess who's not working on the farm right now because he can't lift anything?
And that's killing me.
And it's killing me and the kid because that means that we're having to, you know, pull man's weight. And you also can't see this on the video, but he is super strong. He may be small, but he like has like crazy strength. And so what takes him, you know, 10 minutes takes me and the kid about 2 hours, and a lot of crying going on with the little man, whining and not wanting to do it. But that's because he's a child, and you know.
Well, he's a 10-year-old, and he's a farm.
Exactly, and farm works hard no
Yes,
matter
it
what
is.
age you are. So, and I'm an old lady, so farm works hard no matter what age you are. So he can't be doing anything too strenuous for a while his ribs are repairing. Luckily, we've had some people that have helped us a little. But then Thursday came, and just in case our week wasn't bad enough, Thursday came. We've had wonderful weather here. Out of nowhere, we got a little bit of a cold front. And where we are down in the mountains, we've got mountains all around us, and we're kind of in a valley. The temperature dropped, and the lines froze. And so he was gone already. He had appointments in Oklahoma. He'd gotten up at 4 o'clock that morning and left. So I was getting little man off to school, and he went to brush his teeth, and he says, "Mom, there's no water." And I said, "Well, it got cold." I said, "Go ahead and use the bottled water to brush your teeth with." So he brushed his teeth, and I went on to work after I dropped him off to school. And I was sitting there telling a friend hours later, because it had warmed up to be a beautiful day, and I was sitting there telling a friend about how the water had been frozen that morning. And then it kind of ding, ding, dinged. I bet the water's unfrozen now. And then the more I sit there, the more I start thinking, oh my gosh.
And I was out of town, meanwhile, while all this was happening.
Yeah, and so he couldn't do anything. He was, 3.5 hours away?
Yes.
And so I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, I better leave. I left work, made the 30-minute drive back to the house, and when I pulled around the corner, I saw a literal river of water going down our pasture. I just freaked out. I freaked out. So I ran into the house, and my mom said that it's a wonder that I didn't electrocute myself and die, because we had standing water. We had electric heaters going, and so I ran in through the water, and something told me to do the knob first, like to turn
Thank
it off
God.
first. And so I turned off the knob, and then I unplugged them. And I think that's the only thing that saved me.
I was just should have turned the breaker on from off outside.
Yeah, but he tells me afterwards, you should have done this, kind of like I told him afterwards about the pig barrel. Anyways, I used every towel and every blanket that we owned, and trying to dry it up. He had been doing all of the canning videos, which means that we had tons of produce stacked up and stored. I had to take all of that out, and mind you, this is while I was...
You can check the candy videos out over here.
Yeah, that's right. And so anyways, it was considered a total loss. At this point, I guess this is when we tell them what some people have figured out and what other people haven't. In case you didn't know from the background of the videos, which you might not have because I've got an excellent cameraman, we were living in an RV.
Taking what we got and making it work.
Taking what we got and making it work. And that is one reason why the pipes froze, is because it was up and they were just thin pipes. So we're currently
If
staying.
you check out the introduction video, which you can check out up here, you'll see how we got our land, we sold our property in Oklahoma to move here and everything.
Right, so there's, and we decided that we're taking what we got and making it work.
That's right.
And we're, pushing in our heels. We've had so many bad things go on, and we just keep on doing like our forefathers and just pushing on, and that's all you can do. I mean, literally, that's all you can do.
We're excited about 2020 and ready to show you guys all the good things that are to come.
Right, we've had enough of the bad. I'm glad that happened at the end of the year.
Right.
But we've got to trudge on. We are currently displaced a little bit, but we're very hopeful because look at the view.
Isn't this gorgeous?
We actually live in one of the most beautiful places in the country. And
we're seeing actually our mountain from a different angle where we live at.
yeah, you are. You're actually, if you look out over that way, you're looking at where our property is. So we're up here currently on Mount Magazine. We're staying up here for a little while, and we're gonna be back to the homestead with some help from some family and friends, and we're excited to show you everything coming up. I am convinced that we've had enough of the tears, and now that it's time for some laughter. So we're gonna leave you now, and thank you for watching. Here's to your good New Year as well.
That's right. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and ding the bell to get notifications.
And as always, lift your chin and take what you got and make it work.